With all the recent volatility in the crypto market, does this mean that the September crash has already begun? With things seemingly teetering on a knife edge, it's time again to take a look at what is going on and where we think prices will be going next. Is the crypto market still going to give us the massive boom into the end of the year? So in this video, we'll be covering the latest price action, where are we in crypto's 4-year cycle, and then we'll finish with the biggest developments from all around the world in just the past couple of weeks. Okay, so first up, let's check in with the latest price action and see what is going on. So we're jumping in with a BTC USD on the daily, and what do we see? Well, some crazy price action has been going on recently. After this last breakout, here was the trading range of roughly between 116,000 up to about 120. And most recently, after this big dip here, it looked as though things were going to break out and onto new highs, and it got absolutely crushed here with this big reversal candle here. So what exactly happened? Well, this was the release of PPI, the Producer Price Index, which is inflation when it comes to businesses. And this just highlights just how important the inflation data is right now. So inflation is super key, because unless inflation is coming down, then Jerome Powell can't lower interest rates and end QT. So it's such a key piece to the puzzle. The crypto market is obviously super sensitive to inflation data, as this is what triggered the last big sell-off and things looking relatively weak. Well, this is actually just Bitcoin. Surprisingly, altcoins are actually faring better. So if we take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and we'll just change it to the monthly, we can see actually Bitcoin is the one that's been going down, and altcoins have actually been faring better. So obviously this is just dominance, but another way we can look at this is total 3, which is the crypto market minus Bitcoin and Ethereum this time, and then divided by Bitcoin, we can see the actual altcoins since the bottom here in June have actually been outpacing Bitcoin. So it's actually Bitcoin that's showing the most weakness here, and alts are still looking okay. Now, when it comes to price action, what's going to determine whether this shoots back up here or it potentially breaks down even further is Jerome Powell is due to be speaking today at Jackson Hole. And I'm sure everybody's going to be listening to every single word, indicating whether he's going to be cutting rates next month. So by the time you're watching this video, if prices have moved significantly higher or dropped, it's likely to do with the speech that's happening today. Now, when it comes to seasonality, and this is Bitcoin's monthly returns, it is starting to buck the trend, because the last thing that we said was that in the post-halving year of 2021, it's normally a good month here. You can see 2017, normally a good month. This was 65%, 14%, but it's bucking the trend, and already August is looking weak. And normally, as we saw, the double negative was in September. So this is bucking the trend. However, when we look at Ethereum, which is king of the altcoins, we think everything is doing terrible right now and crashing, but check out Ethereum. It's still up 17% at the time of this recording. So August is actually still going really well. We've still got the double green, which was in 21 as well, double green. So obviously we've still got about 10 days until the end of the month, so still all to play for. But Ethereum and alts are currently holding up better than Bitcoin. Now, this is probably the most important part of this entire video of what is going on right now around here. So let's zoom in, take a look, and see the game plan for the next couple of weeks. So as you can see, we've actually now broken below this dark blue. This is the average price of the prior 3 cycles. And the last thing I said when we were about here was that if we do get a massive run into the end of this month, there was likely going to be a big crash in September. So September starts here, lasting for about 2 weeks. Well, we didn't in fact get a massive run so far. It's done the opposite and it's crashed below the average here. So we're actually now running under. So for me, there's no reason to be selling right now, because the interesting point is, because we didn't get the run up, the crash actually would have taken us down to about 115,000. So this is the $100,000 level here, then 110, 120, 130. The average run was going to about 130,000 and then crashing back down to about 115. Well, at the time of this recording, we're already below 115. We're at about 113. So could it be that we just get some choppiness now until we get back on track? In which case it could go up, could go down, could go up. Bit of sideways consolidation, which is very common in the crypto market until we get back on track. So essentially, this big crash that was going to happen in September, the good news is if things don't recover very, very quickly, then we're already going through the September crash, which means it's probably not going to be as bad as it is here. So that's the good news. Bad news is we just need patience, as it could be another boring sideways consolidation for another month. And this is very common, things going sideways, going up, going down, going up, going down. This happens again and again and again. Is it going to break out? Is it going to break down? Is it going to break out? Is it going to break down? Is it going to break out? Is it going to break down? These are the unfortunate irritations of the crypto market, and it could very well just be another one of those times. So as mentioned, I said if we were going to get a massive run into the end of the month, I would think about selling. However, because we're already at this low point, the last thing that you want to do is be in cash trying to time this, and then all of a sudden we go into Q4. And Q4 starting from October, if history repeats, this is going to be the best 3 months of the last 4 years. So certainly not a time to mess things up right now. So that's how I see what's going on here. If you're able to buy the dip, that's what you do down here. The average actually said it was going to retest and break below 100,000. So potentially that could even still be on the card. Shake a lot of people out, breaking 100,000 before a nice recovery. Anything is possible in this crazy market we call crypto. And then finishing up with the biggest news, and I'll go through these pretty quickly. This one has just dropped, so it's a bit speculative, but the EU plans on expediting their digital euro stablecoin, and they've said they're probably going to be using a public blockchain. So that could be Ethereum, maybe Solana. Now, obviously, if they choose Solana, this is going to send things through the moon. Probably most likely it'll be Ethereum. However, if the EU chooses one of these, obviously that's great for the entire market. We saw that the Fed has also ended the oversight program for banks. So all the little spanners that the Biden era were throwing into the works to try and stop crypto are slowly being dismantled. So this is great coming from the Fed. Now, the corporate treasuries, which seems to be the big thing going on this crypto cycle, which is normal companies converting some of their cash over to crypto, whether that's starting with Bitcoin, it's now Ethereum, there's BNB, Solana, so many, exceeding 100 billion. This is the big thing of this cycle. We saw Alt5 Sigma raising $1.5 billion to buy into the Trump family's World Liberty Financial, which hold a basket of cryptos. We see the BNB treasury firm acquiring 200,000 of Binance Coin, and that's now their largest corporate holder as well. There's now multiple companies that are choosing to do a Solana treasury, and Ethereum's #1 treasury company, BitMine, said they're going to be raising another 20 billion to buy ETH. So the massive thing for this cycle is corporations buying crypto. And people say that there isn't going to be another massive crypto crash and crypto winter because of all these corporations buying Bitcoin. Well, wouldn't it be ironic if the reason we get another massive crash and crypto winter is actually because all these companies are buying crypto? We saw Harvard doing a U-turn. A few years ago, Harvard was saying that Bitcoin is likely going back down to $100, and today they've just invested over 100 million into the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. How times change. China is now also weighing in a yuan-backed stablecoin as well. This seems to be the hot topic right now, and they're forced to do this. So game theory in play here as China and the EU are having to get into stablecoins. And then finally, we have the first online US bank to be integrating Bitcoin Lightning. So this is another potential competitor to probably stablecoins if you can also start using Bitcoin for transactions using Lightning. And to be fair, in the Bitcoin white paper, Bitcoin was meant to be used for transactions. With all the recent volatility in the crypto market, does this mean the September crash has already begun? Well, the 4-year cycle has dipped below the average, but whether this is a big correction and we still finish the month strong, or whether it is part of the bigger September crash, we'll all find out by the end of next week. Well, the good news is that we're already at the low point of around 115,000, so no point really of selling at this stage. And now remember, we are only 1 month away from Q4, which, if history repeats, is going to be the best 3 months of the past 4 years. So there you are, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Again, a reminder, we're only 4 weeks away from October, so patience and great things are likely coming our way. If you do have any burning questions, then simply use SuperThanks below. However, just remember, to get rid of 100% of the comment spam and trading bots that plague YouTube comments, we are trying out the new SuperThanks Commenting system. So to get your question or comment read and replied to, or just to say thanks, then use SuperThanks below. And for now, just to say, if you did enjoy anything in the video, then drop a like, and a big thank you to everyone who does, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.